training objectives. I'm going to talk about, hopefully, we're going to talk about defining leadership, and we're going to talk about management versus leadership. What is it? The leadership traits, leadership styles, purpose, vision, and the mission, and leading an effective team. And also, the most important, the thing that I like the most is mentoring and also coaching. This is my part. She will also cover her part with great, subtopics also there. My lesson number 1 today is on defining leadership. Because I believe that if you cannot define something, you cannot also enjoy it, you cannot also experience it. So I believe that if we can define leadership properly, then we can start talking about training leaders and also developing leaders. And without that, then we're going to develop other people, we're going to develop other things, and we're going to miss the point, which is actually to develop leaders. According to me, from my research and from my little experience that I've got in this field of leadership, I've come up with this definition. Leadership is the ability to influence others through the trust they give you in order to achieve a common specific goal. Leadership is the ability to influence others. Influence is the key word there. Through the trust, another key words that they give you in order to achieve a common goal. Goal is the third keyword. So you have 3 keywords there in that definition. Number 1 is influence. Number 2 is the trust that people give you. And then number 3 is the goal that you need to achieve together with the people that you are leading. Now, you have to understand here that leadership, in short, it's just art of influencing other people. It's just a set of skills put together for you to just have influence and also show the way to other people. Now, if you cannot influence people, then you are not a leader. Now, the question is this. Is there anybody in this world that does not have influence at least on one person? I believe personally that everybody has an influence at least on one person, which makes all of us potential leaders or leaders without knowing it. So we are actually leaders because we do influence other people. And everybody is a leader at their own level. I might be a leader at home, where I am the husband and the father. And you might be also the leader, I don't know at which, in which environment. Maybe at your company. And we're going to talk also, a little bit the difference between a management or a manager and a leader. Because many people think that once they get to the managerial position, they become leaders. So we can, we are going also to discuss that. But influencing is the key word there in the definition. But you cannot influence somebody until they trust you. That's why it becomes very important that you as a leader, you understand that these people trust you. That's why you are their leader. It's not because of your English, not because of your diplomas, not because of your qualifications, but just because people have come to a point where they trust you. That's why we are not pushers, but we are leaders. And there is a big difference here because if I want to push you to do something, I must be behind you to push you. Am I right? But if I have to lead you, unfortunately, I cannot be behind you. I have to be ahead of you or in front of you so that I may lead you. Now, a good leader cannot push because they cannot be behind. And you know what? We do not need to push you because you trust your leader. That's why you follow him. All right. Is that clear so far? But now, a leader also must be able to influence you so that you may believe in the goal or objectives or the purpose or the vision or the mission that he has or that she has. Before the sister said, hey, come on, we're here. All right. So every leader has a vision. And they have to influence you. They have to convince you somewhere and somehow so that you may follow them in that vision. And that's why you need to trust him or her so that you may follow them. And without that, we're going to end up having a team of followers and sub-followers. Because my challenge with today's leadership is leaders are actually behind followers. So they become followers themselves. Because if I am behind you, obviously I'm following you. So I become actually your follower and you become my leader by trying to push you. So a good leader should not try to push anybody, because by doing that they are compromising their position of leadership. Is that clear so far? Let's move on. I picked up a verse, well, maybe a group of verses in the Bible, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. Timothy is speaking to his son. Paul is speaking to his son Timothy and says, so you, Timothy, my son, be strong, strengthened inwardly. All right, this is the Amplified Version. Strengthened inwardly in the grace, spiritual blessing that is to be found only in Christ Jesus. And verse 2 is the one that you need to underline. And the instructions which you have heard from me, the instructions, the training, the news, the things that you've heard from me, which you have heard from me along with many witnesses, transmit and entrust as a deposit to reliable and faithful men who will be competent and qualified to teach others also. To me, this is the concept of leadership.